All right. Hello again, everybody. It's been a while. It's been like 20 days, I think, since my last broadcast, but slowly getting back into things. So I'll show you something really, really, really special tonight. Hey, there's Bernie Strom. So I think this is really, really special. Hey, Mike, welcome in. Mike Silva is here also. All right, we'll do a little Q&A as much as I can. We've been playing with this all afternoon. I've been waiting for this, waiting. And Craig Harris has made, and also, of course, got a shout out to his partner, Matt, as well. This is fantastic, in my estimation, Pocket Pennant Run. So for those of you that don't know, they build this game as a fully fledged baseball simulation that fits in the palm of your hand. Well, it does. I don't have the webcam hooked up right now. I would show you. Both Pocket Run, all three versions, Pocket Pennant Run 1, 2, and 3, literally do. The physical game will fit in the palm of your hand. But don't let the size fool you. But we're going to be covering the Pocket Pennant Run software. And it's a way to play the game completely digitally, or you can still roll dice, input stats, or anything in between. This is the newest update, version 3.51, codenamed Helix. I love it. So, and this is great stuff. So we're going to go beyond the game. It is definitely, hey, Dave Gardner. So shout out to Dave Gardner, who did a kind of, we use a Steam term, an early access sort of look at Pocket Pennant Run, the baseball. And of course, Dave, using version 2, Dave has said that he really, really likes the game, and I'm with him 100%. This is a lot of fun. Back in version 2, Dave did all the ratings for the players and put them for, I think it was the 1979 season. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. Into Digital Diamond Baseball. And of course, you can still do that, but with this update, this changes everything, and not just for this game, but I would argue this changes the way that maybe we think about cards and dice baseball. And so just a quick kind of sideways, but not a tangent. This coming Thursday night on Bernie Strom's channel, we're going to be doing another Diamonds and Dice podcast. And it just so happens that what we'll be talking about are sort of the baseball games, cards and dice, and digital, which kind of give you everything every season, and those which you have to purchase. I wanted to do a kind of side-by-side comparison of this and Strat Baseball Max, and I'm still thinking about doing that. But I thought for tonight, we would just really look at this and what it can do. Dave really showed off a lot of the gameplay, and I do want to show that, but I want to show some other things that make this fun. And actually, you're getting a great research tool as well. So we're going to go down the menu. We're not going to do everything. I mean, kind of a lot of these are going to be self-explanatory. But we go to team management first. So the first thing that you're going to notice here is this is basically, we go to add team. Okay, so we're going to click add a team from the database. And the reason I'm starting with this is I want to show you, I really want to give you an idea of the scope of this program. I can only think of one other baseball simulation that's still on the market that's a standalone. So in other words, not something like Strat Max, that gives you every season from the National Association in 1871 to the present, and much, much, much more. This thing is huge, so don't let its small size fool you. So Pocket Pennant Run Baseball includes, the very first choice, probably going to be the most popular for most people, is Major League Baseball from 1920 to 2023. So it's really the beginning of the live ball era in 1920. If you go down, if you play older baseball a lot like I do, then you want to go for historical MLB, 1871 to 1919. But look at this. Negro League Baseball, 1920 to 1948. Only one other program offers the Negro Leagues at this scope, and that's out of the park baseball. So Craig and Matt Awesome, awesome, awesome to see this. You guys into AAA minor league baseball? Well, you've got AAA minor leagues from 2000 to 2023. How about NCAA? All right, so we basically got 1 year right now, but they're working on more. Oh, unless this is a typo, it says 2022 to 2022. Japanese baseball. So a lot of people were very upset. There was a sort of snafu with out of the park baseball where they lost the licensing to allow them to use the Nippon League. Well, it's here. From 1950 to 1923, the Korean Baseball Organization is in from 2001 to 2023, and something that is in no other baseball sim of which I am aware, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League from 1943 to 1954. That's right, dirt in the skirt, they're all here. Okay, so Dave does tell me it's 1979. So let's just pick a team here. So 1920. So we're picking from Major League Baseball in 1920 to 2023. Let me see. We'll just pick 1975. There seems to be a preponderance of Red Sox people here, and then down here we can we'll look for the Boston Red Sox of 1975, and we're going to add the team data from the league database. We're going to click, boom. Now this has been successfully added. All right. The other reason I wanted to show you this is because when you look at load team, this is going to be what you've already created, what we just did. So when we go to load team, we go up here actually first to teams, and there they are, the 1975 Boston Red Sox. Select them from the drop-down menu. You can have any number of teams that you want in here, by the way. Okay, so we load them. They're loading from the database. Works pretty quickly. Okay, so for those of you who are still playing Pocket Pennant Run 2, you're not being left behind. So these were basically the ratings that that Dave was able to put into the notes section of Digital Diamond Baseball, and you are off and running. So if you do buy the board game, I would strongly suggest, and I've done this, even though I'm probably going to be mostly playing this game now this way, but I've been playing it, bought the mats. So there's a mat for let's say post dead ball baseball, and then also 19th century to 1919. They're beautiful. The game itself is awesome. Comes with the dice, everything like that. But you are set to go. But what's even more fun about this is we can look at the team stats. Okay, so these are the stats. Now I will say this is kind of it's not a knock. I'm more curious. So you can see here, there's everybody's stats, the positions that they played, everything like that. Conspicuously missing, however, are triples. I'm not sure why Craig made that decision not to include triples. I realize they're more rare in, maybe the last 20 or 30 years, but nonetheless, they're important hits. And, but you will see ratings for triples on the batters in games. Now, for those of you who talk about closed engines and open engines, I think you really, really like this. So you can see here in Pocket Pennant Run, and this has been true since version 2. I'm not sure about version 1, but Craig shows you exactly, right, the statistical metrics that were used to do each rating. So kind of really cool to look at this. If you want, you can export all these team stats to Excel. A lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to close this. So this is basically the team management screen. Now, if you wanted to create, you can create your own lineups here. And where this becomes important is for when we get to, there's so many ways to sim games in this game. It's crazy. Okay, but I'm not going to sit here and make a lineup for this. I want to kind of go through this as much as I can. Okay, you can also edit the name of the manager, the manager, the team name, the manager, the ballpark, okay, all this kind of stuff. So kind of like if you're used to action PC baseball, out of the park baseball, you're going to feel right at home with this. So let's go ahead and close. We'll close this. Here we can print selected team player and cards and season player team cards. These look really nice. If I remember, I'll show you back at the end of the broadcast. Next thing I want to show you before we get into the really, really cool stuff is this guy right here, Stat Facts. This is sort of like having baseball for reference, baseball reference, but offline. So let me show you. This is really, really cool. So once again, everything's kind of split up again into those leagues that we talked about. So we're going to stay with Major League 1920 to 2003. All right, so we can just find a player and we can just look at his lifetime stats. So let's start on a very, very basic level. All right, and let's put in, let's put in Jim Rice. There we go. So Jim Rice, and then we're going to come down here and we're not going to do anything else yet. We're just going to search stats. And there you have it. So this is Jim Rice's career starting from 1974 all the way up to 1989. There it all is. It's great. Again, except not triples. Not sure why they're not in here, but that's kind of my only thing. The other thing, again, this is because this first impressions video, it would be nice to be able to resize this window rather than to have to scroll. But again, really, really not a big deal. Okay, so there you go. Now let's find a team. And let's go back to old-timey baseball. All right. And let's look at 1896. That was the year. 1895. That was one of the years the Cleveland Spiders were actually very good. And I know Dave Gardner's a big Cleveland Spiders fan. He should play one of the really good Cleveland Spiders fans, actually. Let's see if we can find them. There they are. Okay, so now we're going to search stats for these 1895 Cleveland Spiders. There they are. There's everybody. So some great names in here too. Jesse Burkett, Cupid Childs is in here. Jimmy McAleer, who was a hell of a player. And there's all the Thibault brothers. And if Ken Castro was in here, he would love it. There's Hall of Famer Bobby Wallace. Of course, Cy Young. There's Chief Zimmer. Again, complete stats. So a nice research tool. So you want to use this as a searchable database. You don't feel like messing around with baseball reference and say, or you're not a stat head like me and you don't pay for it. This is really, really good. Another thing that I think would be really nice, and I don't know whether it's possible with this program, is to have these stats sortable. But again, no big deal. We can kind of look down, but maybe I want to see who the leader was in stolen bases for these 1896 or 1895 Spiders. I'm sorry. So I can see here it was Ed McKean, but I would like to be able to search these. Hopefully that's something that maybe Craig has in future. Again, I don't know that this is really meant to be a substitute for baseball reference, certainly, but I think it's really, really fun to browse, and I think can be useful for any kind of baseball project that you're doing, and you don't feel like jumping on the internet. Boom. All right, now the last thing, and this is really, really cool. This is kind of halfway to StatHead. So you can find players by stats. So we're going to select the all stat category. I'd like to do my search, types of players, what have you. Okay. So let's say that we wanted to go by position, and let's pick left fielders, and we want to sort left fielders by home run. We're going to leave pitchers alone. Let's say home runs, bats from, and actually I do want to switch this back to Major League Baseball from 1920, and let's say just from 1970 to 1995, just to pick one out, and I want to see the top 25. So we set up our criteria of left fielders, home runs, okay. And let's see what we got here. I think this will be kind of a lot of fun. Let's search stats. And it's going to query. It'll take a minute. And I probably shouldn't have done, I should have done minimum requirement, a little higher number, I guess. But that's okay. Just give it a minute. Grinding, I'm assuming. I probably should have picked something a little easier. But again, it is going through, all the search criteria and stuff like that. Really, really fun. Pulling out the years, everything. Those of you that have the baseball history collection from Dave Cook, you know that this takes a little while too. So hopefully this will come up with some. It might have been something I've done wrong here, but if it doesn't come up in a minute, we'll just forge ahead and come back. But I think this is really fun and something that I've had fun. In fact, let's do clear search stats, and let's go back again. Let's just do all players, home runs, I don't know, games, 1970 in the top 25, and let's try this again, because I think I might have not done something correctly. I've also been doing stuff on my PC all day, so it might be just my fault that this is not working. But trust me, it does. And yeah, it doesn't seem to be. We'll come back to this. Yeah, it's definitely searching because I just hit the close button. So it's all right. This is again not the fault of the program. I should have refreshed everything before I did this. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. By positions. There we go. Okay, so we got a little crash there. So it was an unhandled exception. We'll let it go for now. Yeah, try a minimum of 200 something. I will. Let me start this back up again. So I do want you to see this, although, all right. Just go to stat facts again because I think it was just searching too much. All right, there. Now we've got a fresh instance of it going on. I still want to do players by position. And again, we're going to do left fielders. And again, we'll sort them by home runs. And let's say minimum requirement, let's say 250. Okay. And from, let's use, again, let's go back a little further. Let's go 1960 to 2000. And I just want to see the top 10. And hopefully we don't get an unhandled exception error this time. So this might be a little bug here. I don't know. We'll see. No results. Make sure the year span of the league you chose encompasses the year search. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So something I've apparently done wrong here. And let me see. I'm not really sure what I'm missing, but we'll come back to this. Let's get to the other good stuff. All right. How can you play games with this? So you can use this for your season replays. You can use it as season replays with other programs like Mike's doing with his 1987. Okay. You can use it with that. So the first thing you do is like if you would go to Game Sim, every game has to have an ID. So in here, you're going to put your visitors team. Now, remember when you're setting up these teams, right back in the very first screen I show you, this is where you can pull all these teams from. Okay, so your visitors, we're not going to do a game from this screen, but let's say we want the 1949 Brooklyn Dodgers against the 1975 Boston Red Sox lineup. This is a lineup that you saved, but I can show you a way around that if you want in another video. So lineups here, and then of course you're gonna set your starting pitchers here, relief pitcher 1, and you're gonna set conditions as well. So enter if, okay, so the first reason is the starting pitching rating falls, and it does, by the way, this handles pitchers, or enter if there's a second reason, and you're going to define what reason that is in here. Relief pitcher 2, again, you're setting up conditions for the game, and then you hit Game Sim, okay? Where I'm thinking this would be a lot of fun is doing a McGreevy / Fields of Dreams type thing. So to mix and match years and stuff like that. That's where I would see this being really useful. And the reason being is because you can go to things like box score replay. Okay, so let's enter a year for a season, and since 1975 seems to be the theme here, we're just going to load a season schedule. This is what Dave did. So you have the entire as played actual scores of the 1975 baseball season right here. The whole thing, you can go by month, whatever you want. Okay. Now, there are those of you that heard me say, well, you could play this game and enter dice. Well, you can. right here. So we'll start with this. I don't know if this is something that Dave got around to. So we're going to select a game. Let's say Indians Yankees. Manual entry. Okay, we click that, and there we go. So when you're playing the game, this is where you can manually enter everything, and you're entering the stats for Yankees or Indians, whichever you're doing. Okay, so you can use this just strictly as a way to import stats as you're playing. If you've got to chuck the dice and you want to, and you really, really want to just not have the paper or whatever, but you do want to get as close to that as possible, this is really nice for that. Okay. All right. Now, the other thing that we can do, and this is more fun, say play Red Sox at Milwaukee Brewers. Right here, if you hit print play game. Now, this is part of the new update now. This was not possible before Helix. Okay. So first thing you can do is save lineups to Green Fox spreadsheet. With Green Fox is really, really cool. It creates this wonderful Excel spreadsheet, and basically it's a baseball game in and of itself. Okay, you can just save lineups to just good old Excel. You can save lineups to player cards for the game to chuck the dice if you want. Save the lineups to a score sheet. But this is the big guy right here in the middle. This is what Dave showed the other night, and I want to show again. But first, again, here's everybody's ratings, but let's go to game day. So what we're basically, there's our little umpire, really cool. I kind of like that sort of Art Nouveau type thing, kind of cool, little umpire guy. So here we are. We see that we have the manager, Del Crandall, Daryl Johnson, okay? And we'll play an inning or two. But again, Dave did a really good job showing you the flow of the game, so I'm not going to play too much of this. So I'm going to show you more. But let's go to the score sheet because this is cool. This is already populated and ready to go. So you can see here that we're playing in Fenway Park. Important to note that it even printed here, not only in the game, but right here in the score sheet, which is just generated this nice PDF. Fenway is a hitter park. There's the manager and his tendencies. So he's a C. He's a C for calling steals, A for bunts, B for intentional walks, and a B for substitutions. There's the lineup. There's your pitchers, everything like that. And yes, this does track stats. Okay. So now you're in the main part of the game. For those of you who weren't at Dave's stream, let me just go over what you're seeing here. Okay. All right. So the first thing that you want to do, I think, is go to settings. So there's two ways you can play the game. There's normal and advanced. Okay. So when you're playing advanced, you can see down here, pitchers must be warmed up or face a reduction. Too much warming up, and then they face a reduction. So or face a reduction. So I'm just going to put this on normal, so you don't need a bullpen warm up. Down here for batting and fielding, this is something that Dave showed, which does kind of some cool things. So batting and fielder are playing by game rules, but here, if you want to play advanced and you want to get really, really kind of deeper, batter hits are located by the roll of the die. And I'm just going to refer you back to Dave Gardner's excellent video, and you'll see what that looks like. It divides the field up into sections, and it's really, really cool. You have to the fielders kind of have to be positions. I think this is a little bit more nuanced, but just for straight up baseball game, I just set everything both to normal. Okay, click enter settings. We're ready to go. All right. So again, what's another nice thing here? We move down into this. Our current pitcher is Little Louis. Here's Luis Tiant. Okay, here's our fielders, and here's our bullpen. Okay, now when you're playing an as played game, as you will see, anybody that's above. Let me see if I can find it here. Actually, we're just doing a. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. No, I'm on the wrong screen. I'll show you on another screen. If you wanted to play the game as played, you'll see a dotted line, and any players above that dotted line on each side of the roster screens, like the bench, things like that. And there we go. So Tim Johnson, that's what I was looking for. So Tim Johnson actually pinch hit in this game. So if you wanted to actually play it and you had a pinch hit situation and you wanted to bring him in, you know that he was used in this game between the Brewers and Red Sox. However, you don't have to do that. You have access to everybody. So I think that's kind of really, really important. Shows you who's leading off. And again, we can look at our lineup. We've got Coluccio, Briggs, and Aaron due up here in the first. Over here, you've got your pitcher. And again, you have, he's a starter, right? His handedness is right. That's important in this game. His tendencies, and then the 7, this is his fatigue number. So there are rules for this, which the game automatically adjusts for. So if a starter gives up more than 4 runs, then you will start to see his ratings be reduced. And the game does that automatically, so you don't have to think about it. Really, really nice stuff. All right. As these batters come up, these cards will change. So you have the pitcher's card and the batter's card. This will change. So in Pocket Pennant Run 2, which was a fun game, basically, though, right, a B batter, right, somebody with a B power would do a certain thing. This is now based on the player, so not and deeper. Down here in the dice, you got the little micro league baseball kind of guys up here, which I think is really, really, really cool. Manager decision, we'll get to that a little early in the game. All right. So let's do one. All right. So how you play the game basically is you roll the dice. So here they are, and everything starts from this red die. So Louis Tion's finished with his pregame warm-ups. We're ready to go. So we roll the die. All right, so Bob Colucci in the box there, and we see here that this is a 6. So in a 6, we see that this is a left-right. So we go to the batter's card, and we see that the second number is number 2. What's really nice is you can see here everything is color-coded, so you're not gonna mess up. So we see that this is a 2 left-right on the batter card, and he lines out to first base. Right, just select play, and you can do line out, boom, and then first base, enter play, and automatically records the out. Now, you might be thinking, oh, okay, now what? So a nice little reminder, one thing you have to do, the game will automatically go to the next batter, like when you're going from the bottom of the third to the top of the 4th inning. The next batter up will automatically populate, but in an inning, you have to change the batter. And if you think you've forgotten, if you see numbers here, you know that you haven't put a new batter up. Okay. Would it be cool to see it auto advance? Sure, but this is no problem. Just do this. Okay. So again, we have on deck John Briggs. So batter up. There's Briggs. You can see that the card changed. We're just going to do the same thing. Okay. So this time, this is a 2 off of Tion's card. So a 2 is a control. And we go down to number 8, and we see that this is a dropped third strike. And I'm actually glad this showed, because there's a little tiny bug that will happen. Don't panic. Okay, so we know it's a drop K. All right, so again, I'm going to just select K, or select the play. I'm going to do drop K, and we'll see if this happens again. And so we can just go, right, it's just drop K. Let's do enter play. And no, it didn't do it. Every once in a while, there will be a little window that will pop up that will say unable to load, whatever it is. You'll get a choice to either close or kill process. Just close it. Don't kill process. You'll be fine. It'll be like under the play window. So that's a little intermittent bug. All right. So we have 2 down, nobody on. I see numbers here, so I know, because I could be looking at you guys talking, and it's like, oh, I see numbers. There's nobody here either. So let's do batter up. All right, brings up Hammer and Hank Aaron. All right, here we go. The wind and the pitch from Little Louie. It's a 12. This is going to come off the batter's card. Okay, so off the batter's card, we go over here, and we see that it's a 5. And this is going to be a fly out to right field, F9. That's it. Select. Just do select play. This is out. There's nobody on, whatever, but if you want to keep, accurate, you should do this fly out and right field, enter play. And it says there are 3 outs, change sides. It guides you. Click OK, come down here, change sides. So the thing about the colors is the defensive team is always this reddish color or burnt orange, whatever you want to call it, and the batting team is always blue. So that will keep you going. All right, let's look at our score sheet. Let's see how it's doing. So there it is. You can see it's populating everything already. So we can see here we had a line out to first, a strikeout, and a fly ball to right to end the top of the first inning. Okay. Also, if you want, so you want to keep closing tabs. So this is how it was. I would say as you're going through the game, if you want to check this, just click the tab right to its left to close it. All right, we're just going to do the bottom of the first. All right, so another nice thing this game does, by the way, is as you go on and you play, it will show, and Dave brought this up. So right here you see previous at bat. This will tell you what the player has done in each of his previous at bat using baseball notation. So, it might say 6-3, 4-3, F9. So, that's a feature that we always love in Action PC Baseball. You have it right here. Okay, so nobody out. All right, here we go. So Jim Slayton taking the mound here. Slayton will face leadoff hitter Juan Beniquez. On deck is Freddie Lynn. Here is the wind and the pitch. So this is a 1, and we see this is a control. So we go to control, jump down to 11, and we see this is a wild pitch or a walk. So what we're going to do, we're just going to call it a walk. I mean, there's nobody on base, right? So we're just going to select play. Walks in this game are considered hits. I would have put them in other, but no big deal because you use them a lot. So I can kind of see why Craig would have made this decision to put them under hits. And there you go. So we got the runner on. Now you're probably thinking, hey, how am I going to steal? Well, I can click on this guy on first, and I can see that Beniquez, his speed is a B. So on a die roll of 7 to 12 or 7 to 11, he's going to be safe. Now there's a possible error on 12. So do I want to steal against? Well, I could maybe do that. Let's check the catcher. Okay, see Darryl Porter is a C. So let's just try to steal with Beniquez. Why not? So click on the base runner, click steal. It will say, are you sure you want Juan Beniquez B? So it gives you his speed rating to steal against second base against catcher Darryl Porter with his rating B. Hey, Dwayne Martz. I'm just going to say yes. Let's see what happens. All right, and he is safe. So he rolled a 6. All right, let's close this. And if we go back to Juan Beniquez's card, we see, well, actually, we got an out A, but so but the out B, he was actually safe. So I should have probably explained that a little better, but he is safe. Okay, so we got a runner in scoring position here, nobody out, and I still see numbers. Batter up, and now here's Fred Lynn. Okay. Again, you can click on any of the dice; it doesn't matter. All right. So we have a 10 comes from the red die from the batter's card. We see that it's going to be the batter's card. All right. So we go to the batter's card. We see that the next number is 4 because this is color coded, right? So number 4. What happens? This is a fly out and a tag question mark. Okay. So we're going to go to select play. And what this is a fly ball to center. Okay. So we're going to do a fly out or fly ball, and we're going to do this to center field. We're going to enter play. Now, it's going to ask you, do you want Beniquez to tag up for third against center field Bob Coluccio? Coluccio is rated an A. Beniquez is rated a C. I'm going to say no. Okay, so he's holding second, 1 out, hit batter up, and we got Captain Carl up here. So here's Yastrzemski. Okay, roll the dice. This is 8, and this is a batter's card. We go over here on the bat side, look at 1. This is a G4 DP. However, this guy, since he's grounding to 4, I think he should advance to third. So we're going to record this as a G4 DP. Okay, so again, select play. All right, and we want to go to, this is going to be a ground ball. We're going to call it a double play, and we're going to go to, since it said 4, right, a ground ball to 4, so we're going to go to second base. All right. And then we're going to go to first base. Now, if I mess this up, it's going to say, oh, there's a better play. And I didn't. Okay. So I didn't. Not sure why he didn't advance. Maybe I did something wrong. Now, if you did, what's really cool about this is you can reset the at bat if you wanted to. All right. The other thing that you could do is you could advance the runner. So one of the things that you do have to get used to is when you get into something like that, is obviously this guy should have advanced, right? Ground ball to second. Maybe he held second because of his speed. There's some things I think that possibly you have to make some judgment calls, and Dave, I think, pointed this out as well. I think a faster runner might have advanced to third. Let's just say that he looked him back to second. All right, batter up, 2 down, and here's Rico Petrocelli. Click it. All right, so we see that this is a 2. This is a control call, 3, and Petrocelli strikes out. This is how simple this game is. So it's already, it will pick this as a default usually, and just enter play. And there are 3 outs. That's it. Change size. So there was a double play, and nothing happened there with that little mess up. Okay, so change sides, and that's it. Again, Dave Gardner did a number of videos, or did a video on this. Also, Craig Harris did about a 6-inning game. I'm not going to play a complete game here. I just wanted you guys to see what this is all about. And certainly, I'm still trying to feel my way around this new update, which just dropped today. But I've been just going crazy wanting to show this to you guys. With Dave showing it earlier this week, and then my doing it as well, and we don't have a lot of cross-pollination. This game, guys, you should first subscribe to the Pocket Pennant Run YouTube channel. Also, subscribe to their Facebook page. This game deserves a lot of love. Okay, we're not done yet. Down here, by the way, you can do things like hit and run, bunt, all this kinds of stuff right here. You want to see the box score of your game? There's the box score of everything that's gone on so far, which has not been exactly an exciting game. Zeros all the way across the board. But let's go ahead and exit this. You're going to play one. Yeah, nice, man. So Dwayne says he's been importing the APA pre-1961 bats into Outlet Park 25. 2 teams left. Excellent. I'm going to play around with this because I think there are ways to do it in this too, and I think that's by doing those teams. But I'm going to show you something else that's really, really fun. Let's close this and close this. And let's go to Quick Play. I love this. Quick Play is super cool. Quick Play allows you to play. This is probably my favorite mode right now. Just, I don't know, for giggles. Don't know why. So again, select the league. Let's stay with 1920 to 2023. And let's pick a year. I'm going to let the chat pick a visiting team. Any team between 1920 and 2023. Somebody give me a visiting team first. First one that's in the chat is the team that goes here. This is super cool. I love this. He waits. And thanks, man. 12 people showing up. We peaked out at 14. This program, this baseball game deserves your love. I would say pick up the physical game. You do get access to software. If you decide to go the PDF route, maybe you're in a little tighter budget. Still, you get access to the software. And for those who may not be able to use it, also there's a free thing on there that are I think it's called Cards and Players or something. So it's for people that for some reason or another may not be able to use the software or right away. There is a kind of workaround. All right. Since I'm not seeing a year coming up here, we're going to do, let's say the 1987, since Mike's doing 1987. And let's do the Minnesota Twins. Okay. Boom. All right. And again, we got to always select your league. Select your league. Okay. Hey, Andrew, haven't seen you in a while. He says you bought it, really like it so far. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I do have to make an editorial comment right at the end of this. You knew that was happening. It was going to happen. Let's put these guys up against, right, just for fun. And we'll play an inning or two. And you permit me to do a little bit of editorializing because this is first impressions. All right, so we've picked the two teams, 1987 Twins and the 1961 Yankees. Click Add Teams. Okay, this is complete all entries or select cancel. Okay, apparently I've done something wrong. What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? 1987, 1961. Yep. Add teams. Please complete all. Okay, so this never happened to me before. Not sure why. Oh, because you have to do it at game ID. For quick play, the game ID doesn't matter. This was my fault. So just type in a 1. Doesn't matter. You type in 15783 764, whatever. So a little easy thing to forget there. So maybe just do it first. All right, let's do add teams. Do I want pitchers to hit? Yes, I do, because Dwayne, we don't need no stinking DH. Okay, we're going to select a starting pitcher for the Twins. Goodness gracious. Let's start Frank Viola. All right. And for the Spankies, let's start the chairman of the board. Okay. Once again, there's everybody's ratings. All right. And then we just do play game day. But again, you could save these lineups. If you wanted to roll up dice, guys, you could save these lineups to Green Fox, play it in there. You want to just, again, save the lineups to Excel, save these lineups to player cards, and save the lineups to a score sheet. You can do any of these things. So you are not hampered at all from playing this as a cards and dice game. Or do my favorite, and there's that cool umpire. And there you go. We got Ralph Houck, Tom Kelly, and we're ready to rock this game. All right. So I want to take a few minutes. This is I'm loving the fact that we're seeing smaller devs coming up with amazing products. I think it's healthy. Strat's been around since 1951, Apple's been around since 1951. Strat's been around since 1961, and actually Apple was sort of around before that, what have you. But nonetheless, for many years, those two dominated the market. And prior to internet and things like that, you had Sherco, from what I've told. I'm not old enough to have played these games, like Sherco All-Star Baseball or Catico All-Star Baseball, what have you. You had some games that challenged. Sports Illustrated Baseball comes to mind, Status Pro Baseball. But it was really APA and Strat that were kind of the, shall we say, someone once said that Dante and Shakespeare divide the world. They were kind of the Dante and Shakespeare. But nowadays, we have games like Dead Ball Baseball, which is, again, the entirety of baseball history. You have Back to Basics Baseball, Pocket Pennant Run, which is a nice hybrid. And I think a nice comparison to this would be with both Strat Baseball Max and Digital Diamond Baseball. And I think it compares very well. Very, very, very well. In fact, it compares extremely favorably to Strat Max. And again, play what you like. But this pretty much does everything that Strat Max does, except for being able to play an all-star game. I can mix and match teams here. So can they. But by looking at that team management, the only thing that would be missing here is how to create a schedule if I wanted to do something like that. But, if I have to use an external program, no big deal. I like to see these challenged, right? You're still getting a lot of the, you're still getting realistic outcome. I've been playing Pocket Pennant Run since version 2, and I can tell you this game does very, very well. I used to be an APA cards and dice player, played some Strat, played a lot of Status Pro Baseball, and in fact, still am playing it nowadays thanks to Digital Diamond Baseball. This game does very, very, very well. The flow is as easy playing with the dice as I've shown you. And if you buy the game and you get the two mats, one for the modern era, one for the dead ball era, it's that simple. You're just looking at charts, and all you're doing is flipping cards. So you would be doing that anyhow. Maybe you just want to do it this way. You don't want to get out the cards, right, Dwayne? If you don't want to get out the cards, here you go. The batter's cards are here. So I encourage these devs that are putting out, and this is really a labor of love. And my mind is spinning with all kinds of awesome things that you can do with this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and knock out of this, and we're going to do one other thing here. So we've got this replay of previous game and the fantasy game that loads. No, we're not going to do this. So we do a game day replay when you have like a league going. It will load in the last thing that you've done, and you can just pick up where you're going. Okay. If you need help, click help, and there's everything for PPR. As far as what you need to do, shows you what you can do, loading lineups, clearing lineups, things like this, stat facts, game sim, box score replays, and then of course there's more instructions right there, the product website. So how is the game to play? It's fun. It flows. You don't have a billion checks for things. I don't quite get the idea of a game is better because it has more charts to look at. At least for me, when I'm playing baseball, whether it's digital or cards and dice, I want the game itself to be transparent enough that I feel like I'm playing baseball and not checking for this role or that role or what have you. I want to play. And this really allows me to do that in ways that I have a lot of fondness for a game that gave me that feeling, Status Pro Baseball, but I believe this is more streamlined. Again, your mileage may vary, but for the price, you cannot go wrong. You've got a research tool. You've got, I think, 300 and some thousand players. This is a huge database, a way to just quick play some games. You want to really tart up, you want to do your season replay, do it in a bunch of different environments where you have something here that's system agnostic, because you can just use those scores again, right? Use the scores. Let's go back to here. And again, let's just go to 19. We'll go to 1987 for Mick here. Go to 1987. We'll just load a season schedule. So if Mike decided that he wanted to just, he wanted to let everybody else, you don't even have to go through. Here are the actual scores. Maybe you want to play the game and say, all right, given that all these scores were the same, I'm just going to manage the Boston Red Sox, and I'm going to play just the Boston Red Sox schedule. So you can do that, which is really fun. Do you want to replay the whole season, as Mike and Dwayne has done that too? Dwayne has played all these games. Mike has played every game. So you're only limited by what you want to do as far as your own imagination. Again, entire season schedule all the way down to the World Series. So there's a lot more I could say about this. I think that this is definitely a game that really, really invites you to use your own imagination. You want to pick a date from the calendar. Let's pick May 20th. There's all the games on May 20th. It's just that nice. There we go. So that is Pocket Pennant Run version 3.51. Join the Facebook group. Get the game if you don't have it. You know that this is primarily a baseball channel. I did a dead ball game with this earlier today with this new update, the 1902 Pirates and the 1917 Chicago White Sox. It does dead ball pretty well. The only thing that's really missing that it would need is a ratings for the managers. There was no managerial rating for Fred Clark or for Pence Rowland, who were the managers of the Pirates and White Sox, respectively. But I was pleased with how well it does dead ball, and to me, that's really because I'm so into 19th century dead ball baseball. I want to see how well it does it, and it does it pretty well. I think Out of the Park still has the edge, but Out of the Park is a completely digital game, and but this does it really, really, really well. It plays a good game of baseball. I think once you're used to the system, you could bang through a game probably maybe 40 minutes or less. I don't know, Dwayne, how long. Yeah, Japanese teams as well. Exactly. Dave Gardner saying that the PPR game itself is really fun. Yeah. And so, you know what? You pick up the PDFs and you just want the PPR software, get it. I mean, again, it's a great research tool. It's anything you want. It's a game. You just feel like Bernie says, he says, I like to roll dice just to relax. Well, you know what? Maybe you're not the person that has every season that Strat or App has put out, and you don't feel like, just buying a season because you just want to play some one-offs every once in a while. Maybe you're primarily a digital gamer, or maybe you're strictly just a casual baseball fan. Our own Dave Gardner here is a casual baseball fan. And so for him, not only him doing the 1979 thing they did before, but I could see for Dave the quick play feature a lot of fun, that he could just set up kind of really fun scenarios and just saying, you know what, I just want to roll some dice, but I don't own these seasons. Well, you can print them out and play it with the dice, or again, use that quick play feature that's in here. Or you just feel like, hey, I want to do something from a season. Load up an entire season, or load up just a team schedule, which, by the way, you can do that too. I should have shown you that. Okay, so let's select for let's pick another year, 1980. 1934. Here we go. Let's go back to 1934, and let's pick the St. Louis Cardinals. So I'm doing a 1934 Cardinals thing offline. So we'll take the Cardinals. Okay, so we're just going to load their schedule for 1934. So there we go. Now, if I just wanted to follow, and this thing is accurate, again, all the way down as played. So using all this great retro sheet data, we can actually do things with it now. You guys that have been digital gaming, what was one of the big things that hit digital gaming was the Sean Lahman database. This is like to the next level, because now you're taking all that cool stuff from retro sheet, or the stuff that we've used in out of the park baseball and in action PC baseball, and it's here and we can see it and integrate it into the game. So do that. Maybe I want to see, all right, who the Cardinals play in July. Oh, wow. Rays and Cardinals. Maybe I want to play that game. Well, Cardinals won that one 4-2. All right, let's see if I can do better even than that, or what have you. So you can, again, load the entire season schedule, pick a date, do whatever you want. So this is a crazy, crazy amount of work here that's done by Craig, and I think he deserves every dollar he charges for this. And frankly, in my estimation, this game is a steal. I don't know, and maybe one of you guys that play Strat or Appa can tell me. Let's close this. This window just wants to hang out. I don't know why, but we'll just, let me close this and open it again, because I want to show you one more thing. So if you don't want to, there we go. Whoops. Don't want two instances of it. So let's do something else. I want to show something else I forgot to show you. So it's not Game Sim. Let's close this. Is it this? Yeah, this is cool. So this has been around for a little while. This is you pick, we pick. So you can pick a date in the game, and the AI coach picks his favorite date, and you pick the game. All right. So you can do that. So you could do pick and print. Okay. And if I just do this, right, it'll pick and print, and I'll pick the date. I can let the AI coach pick it. There we go. It just picked from baseball history, 1912. So it picked some dates in 1912, and I can pick any one of these games to play. So this is kind of fun if you just want to explore some interesting territory. Okay, look at this crazy game between the Philadelphia Athletics and the New York Highlanders that took place on the 30th of September of 1912. It was an 11-10 game. So I'm going to select that, print play game, and play game day. And there you go. You're off to the races. You are off to the races. I should tell you also, if you're playing a post-dead ball team against a dead ball team, Whatever team is the home team, that's the rules the game will go by. So if you're playing the 1912 Red Sox versus the 1934 Cardinals, it's going to use the rules, right? The kind of baseball, if you will, of modern, so-called modern baseball, 1920 onward. So I forgot all about that feature, and that was one that I always had a lot of fun with, just kind of simming it out. But now you can play the game. Any questions? I don't claim to be an expert on this at all, and I know that Dave didn't either. Dave did a bang up job. So again, just a couple kind of nitpicks about this. I'm curious as to why triples aren't in here. I think they should be. But again, you can see down here, right, on this player's card. So we're looking at Ezra Midkiff. So we have Prince Hal Chase on deck. But we can see here on his power check that he does have a triple. There's a lot of doubles. Got to remember the triple was the big hit in the dead ball era. That you were considered a slugger hitting triples. So they are here. Okay, they're not in player stats. I would like to see, if possible, the player stat windows maybe expanded more rather than having to scroll through a player's career. Maybe I want to look something up. Also, to make them sortable, the way you can see it in Out of the Park Baseball and Action PC would be nice. Again, these aren't negatives. These are just maybe some constructive suggestions down the line. Another nice thing would be able to see at some point, but again, just remember, if you see numbers, you haven't done batter up. But it would be really nice, maybe if it just auto advanced through the lineup for you, and then you had to change sides or something. But those are small nitpicks. The positives far outweigh. I've been playing digital baseball since Micro League Baseball. I've been playing cards and dice baseball since when I started college. So that would have been the 90s. I know a good baseball game when I see it. And this isn't just about value. This is about quality. And with what you can do with this game, just do this. If you get this, do what I just did and have the AI just pick a year and a range of teams and just play it. Or if you want, play your favorite team against the team that you hated the most. May his memory be eternal. If Robbie Wartburg was still with us, and I know he's looking down at heaven, if he was here, he would have bought this game. Maybe he just wants to play a rematch of his 2011 Rangers against the 2011 Cardinals, right? Robbie didn't, I don't think he got to see the Rangers winning last year. Play with this thing. It's a serious baseball game. It deserves your attention just because it doesn't have the APA or Strat moniker. Don't sell this thing short. This is every bit as good. I've watched Robert play Inside Pitch. David Baseball Demos playing just about every cards and dice game that there is out there. Our Red Sox fan watching these guys, the games that I do on my own. And I'll tell you what, I would play this, and here's the endorsement I will give this game. You guys know I love Diamond Mine Baseball, and I always will. But this is better. This is better in so many ways, and that's saying a lot because Diamond Mine Baseball is a hell of a program. Get this, man. You won't regret it. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything, but that's pretty much it. I don't know. I love it. I will remind you, while I wait for any questions. If not, we'll start closing this down. Remember, I talked about pitcher grades going down. So in like in any cards and dice game, you're going to have to remember that. Well, this guy gave up more than 4 runs. I've got to knock all his ratings down. So this the rating here, like for Joe Bush. So all this, his ratings are going to go down from the type of pitcher that he is, right? But the game, I was so delighted to see it do that today as I'm playing. So it said, Eddie Seacott has reached a fatigue level, so his ratings will be reduced, and it reduced them. It was a hell of a game between the White Sox and Pirates, and so it does a lot of housekeeping for you. Again, the box score, The score sheet's really nice. This tracks stats throughout the season. It's a perfect tool. So I think that there's you have three options. I've never used PC Replay as a companion, but you have Digital Diamond Baseball and you have this, and both are fantastic. And but this is about this one, and I think you've got a great. You don't have to. You've got everything. Craig does a lot of updates. It's an excellent community on Facebook. Craig is very responsive. And in fact, I don't know if he's going to listen into this later. Hey, Sports Flicks, thank you, man. I don't know if he's going to listen to this later or if he's lurking among the 15 here. But I was so dying for this to come out like last week when it was supposed to come out last week, and it didn't. And I didn't see Craig's post on Facebook, so I wrote an IM. I said, "What happened, man? I can't get to it. I can't get to it." And the guy was so cool, even though he was going nuts and coding and everything, was kind enough to say, "Hey, no, it's all good. Everything is just a few coding issues and everything." And that's the kind of developer that I think we should be supporting, just like we support Dave Cook. And, I've told you guys the story about when This Year in Action PC Baseball released opening day, right? They released last year, so December when it released. Dave was up with me until 1:30 in the morning with me trying to fix the game to get it to boot because it was having a lot of troubles on launch day with a lot of people. Couldn't get it to run. Next day, I wake up, and in my email gives me a link to the deluxe version of the game. So it's great support. Craig and Matt have shown themselves to be super supportive. There was no need for Craig to do this. It was the one, but to create and put this whole ecosystem right here on one screen where there you go. I don't have to look at defensive charts anymore. I can just click on Eddie Collins and I can see what he's going to do here to do this and create this ecosystem that I can play a one-off baseball game all the way up to a complete season and do whatever just by clicking around a few places and giving me essentially a kind of baseball reference that I can muck about with. There's nothing I can say really bad about this product. It's not perfect, but there is no perfect game. In this golden age of baseball sims, this one deserves a place on your hard drive and on your gaming shelf. And remember, it does fit in the palm of your hand. With that, I want to thank you guys for coming in and checking out this first impressions of Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. Again, please subscribe to the Pocket Pennant Run YouTube channel, also to the Facebook group. Avail yourself of the website if you have any technical issues with the game. Please, Craig is very good. You can fill out the little contact form, whether it's about the game or about the software. You go to the website. And it's been my experience since Pocket Pennant Run 2. Craig gets back to you within, maybe a day at the latest is what I've had to wait. So I want to thank Bernie Strong for coming in. And Sports Flicks, Dave Gardner, thank you, man, for coming in. Andrew, haven't seen you in a while, Andrew RW603. Dwayne Martz. Andrew, you're right. You cannot beat the price of this game at all. Mike Silva, thank you. So, Mike, looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with this big clue. Thank you for coming in as well. And for all of you who weren't active in the chat, I see there are 19 of you. I hope that you'll come back to my humble channel. It's mainly a baseball-focused channel, and I've been off for a little while, but returning soon. But fair warning, it's largely devoted to dead ball baseball. There's not going to be a lot of modern baseball you'll see on here, but I hope you folks will come by. I rarely ask about my channel, but since it's been 20 days since my last broadcast, I feel it's okay to ask. So thanks, guys. Craig Harris, there he is, guys. He is here. Craig, I hope I did some justice at least to this fantastic game, and shout out to you and Matt for something amazing. This is great. In fact, I'm going to close off this stream and just play a game and have fun. So, guys, the man himself is here, so give him a shout out, and please subscribe and join the Facebook group and be a part of something that I think is going to be really special in the months and years to come. And with that, until next time, see you round the batting cage. Craig, again, thank you for a fantastic game. All right. Take care, guys.